You know, the partnership we have with ATF is critical because of the firearm implication. You see the firearms that are here with us today, and they have the ability and the tools and the resources to do some things that help us in our investigation. So, Michael Gleising from ATF.
Thank you, Chief. I'll keep my comments rather brief. I'd like to begin by thanking the United States Attorney McGregor Scott and District Attorney Elizabeth Egan for their leadership and guidance with this investigation. And especially the men and women behind me with the Fresno Police Department, which spearheaded this terrific investigation. Chief, good job. Investigations like this do not come about every day. I think there's a message from law enforcement here, and the message is really quite simple. We're going to continue to identify, disrupt, arrest, and convict these people that are responsible for violent crimes. Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you, Mike. You know, one of the things that we've always said that in order to impact gangs, you have to disrupt them, you have to displace them, and you have to dismantle them. And I can tell you for sure today that we've not only been able to disrupt and displace the Villa Posse gang, we have dismantled the Villa Posse gang in Fresno. With that, we'll open up to any questions you might have. Anybody?
You know, are you all concerned somebody's going to try to step in and take over the spot that's missing?
Yeah, you know, that's a great question, because we always talk about when you remove the leadership, there may be somebody that's ready to step up. I can say in the course of this investigation, it would have been very easy for us at some point in time to stop the investigation and go out and to make a significant number of arrests at that point in time, but we would not have completed what we set out to do, and that was a total dismantling. And when we talk about the dismantling process, it is removing various layers within the organization to where what is left are Villa Posse gang members and associates at the lowest level, but they have no structure, no coordination, no leadership. There is a potential for someone now to step up and say, I'm the leader. It is our job through the district crime suppression teams as well as the West Fresno gang tactical team and our undercover operations visible is to prevent that from occurring now. We have created the void. It is now our job to ensure that nobody steps up to fill that void.
How do you do that?
By continuing to keep the pressure on these individuals that are out on the streets. One of the things that we will continue to do is monitor the Villa Posse gang. I think we've sent a strong message. You may be able to work your way up into leadership positions, but you're not untouchable, because we have ways and we have means to be able to get to those individuals in a structure that have oftentimes gone undetected. And those are the individuals that you're seeing up here on the boards today that have been removed from the streets. They're not untouchable. Curtis Hendricks is not untouchable. He's going to go to federal prison for a lot of years. And I want that to be the message. I want that to be the poster child for these young gang members that think about getting into gangs. Look at where he's going to be spending many, many years of his life, behind bars. Not a shot caller on the streets of Fresno any longer.
Chief, all 84 of these people that were arrested, were they all Villa Posse gang members, or were they also maybe some other Bulldog gang members and other people that were affiliated with certain dealings?
54 of the individuals that we arrested in Operation 3056 were as a result of the Villa Posse investigation. Those individuals are either associates or individuals that are validated gang members, people that hang out with Villa Posse gang members for the purpose of facilitating drug trade, prostitution, trafficking, those types of cases. So those 54 individuals are all part of a network associated with the Villa Posse, to include validated gang members. The other 30 that were arrested on Operation Gatekeeper, there were only 4 of those that were gang members. But those are oftentimes the people that are carrying out the street sales for those gang members up top, such as Curtis Hendricks and his people. So we felt that we had to attack it on 2 fronts. The leadership and the structure of the organization, as well as some of the street level dealing that occurs below. And that's what we've done.
The shooting death of the pregnant lady back in August, and I can't remember what her name was, Now, was that also directly related to the Villa Posse at all, or that was something completely separate, right?
The shooting of that female and her friend, that was by a dog pound gang member. As you've heard this week, there was an injunction that was signed by a judge for the dog pound area. But I got to tell you, that gang as we know it today is really no more. That injunction is going to serve a purpose, and that's to prevent them from coming back into that area. But we have taken great strides over the last 10 months to wipe out and eliminate the dog pound gang as well. And those individuals are in prison. And that neighborhood has now been renamed Brookhaven. It is no longer the dog pound. And so dog pound gang members don't claim it, and they don't live it.
What's the significance behind 3056?
3056 is actually the zone. You know, our city is drawn up into a variety of zones. Well, the 3056 zone, 3056 is where the Villa Posse gang had a stronghold for many, many years. And I'm talking about for the last 2 decades. And so that is what this operation was termed, Operation 3056 after that zone.
Is that that big circle that's reflected on the...
Yes. Yeah, within that circle is zone 3056 to the lower right.
Cynthia, would you mind just saying a few brief words just about what this means to you and your district?
Thank you very much. At this time, this gives us some great peace and great security back into the community. This is what the citizens of the area wanted, and they are now can get back to their life of being able to walk around in the neighborhood, enjoy family outings, meeting their neighbors, and just being a healthy community again. So I too would like to say thank you to the West Fresno Gang Tactical, the West Fresno Tactical Gang team, to the chief, and to all of the federal, our district attorney, and to everyone, and especially to our mayor for taking the step to make these types of bringing this type of security back to our community. So this is it gives us great peace at this time. Thank you.
Okay.
Chief, you
Yes.
mentioned that they're accused of trafficking young girls. Can you explain a little more about that?
Can't get into some of the specifics of that investigation other than to say that our investigation did reveal that these individuals were trafficking girls that were underage across and outside of California for the purposes of prostitution. They were also utilizing young girls that were underage as well as adults for the purpose of prostitution here locally. Much of that activity, unfortunately, over on the Parkway area. And so we do know that they were involved in that, not only trafficking drugs, but trafficking humans, if you will, for the purpose of prostitution to include underage girls.
These were Villa Posse gang members doing this, or the others that were?
This was the Villa Posse gang under Operation 3056.
And the trafficking is girls were being sent out of state, or they were being brought from out of state?
From Fresno, sent out of state to do the prostitution activity.
Where were they being? Where were they going to? I mean, were they those connections that they were doing over there?
We can't get into those details.
Is the Villa Posse gang only here in Fresno, or are they other places too?
The Villa Posse gang is only in Fresno that I'm aware of, but there are sometimes those members that go into other cities like Los Angeles and so forth and maybe become part of another gang. But the Villa Posse stronghold is in the city of Fresno.
What gangs do they do dealings with outside of the city, though?
I don't know if somebody wants to. Anybody want to talk about that, or
Just
come on up here?
stood on the end for a reason. Just with regard to that, Villa Posse is a Fresno-based gang. I don't know of any ties outside of the Fresno area, and they do generally keep to themselves. There is a larger collection, we'll call them, of Fresno street gangs in southwest Fresno that they do associate with, and then of course they also have their rivalries. The Villa Posse is specific to Fresno, and again, we're unaware of any alliances outside of the area.
Alrighty. Thank everybody for coming out today.